Good afternoon, Facebook. Christopher Hart here with Transforming Lives Coaching and Consulting. Coming to you today as part of our Lead Strong video series, where we're looking to build strong leaders in any environment, whether it be your business, your household, organization, churches, etc. And so today's topic is addressing what I like to call the number one reason why I have conversations with leadership clients and consultation sessions, which is, how do I motivate my people? I tend to believe that this is probably the number one struggle that most leaders deal with. So we're going to address that question today. We're going to understand what really is the definition of motivating people. And so we'll break that down, and I think that'll provide a little bit of clarity. But for those that don't know me, my name, once again, is Christopher Hart. I am an organizational leadership development coach, as well as a coach who focuses on increasing people's influence, impact, and income through the areas of productivity and performance. So let's dive into it. Motivating people. How many people, for those that are watching, or for those that are going to watch this maybe later on, how many of you have ever dealt with a struggle of motivating other people? If you have, feel free to like, comment, thumbs up, whatever the case may be. And along the way, if you have any questions of any of the content that we're going to address, feel free to enter it into the comment box. We'll be glad to address it either here live, or if you're watching this as replay, we'll be glad to address it then as well. But let's look at it. How many times do you think either yourself or other leaders have struggled with the ability to motivate other people? And the interesting part is there's a lot of perspective to this struggle that leaders tend to have, which is there are some leaders and coaches and consultants out there that say, people, your job is not to motivate people. People's job is to motivate themselves. And I believe that to a certain degree, but there's more to the whole motivation part. Hey, Tim, how's it going, buddy? Great to see you this weekend. Hope you're having a fabulous Sunday. So let's break this down, right? Motivation, what is it? First of all, it's a compound word. And compound words are when two words come together to create another word with a very specific meaning. So if we look at it, we have the word motivate coupled with ation, the suffix ation, A-T-I-O-N. So to understand those, we have motivate. Motivate is defined as the reason why you take action, or the reason why you do something. It's a motive, okay? So it's to have a motive, a reason why you do something, and ation is a process or action. So in essence, when we take those two words and we bring them together to form a compound word, motivation, we understand that it's a process or action in accordance with a reason to do something. So if we understand that, then we look at the process of what people tend to think or believe with regard to it's not our job as leaders to motivate people, which I agree with, okay? But then what does all this mean? As leaders, I believe it's our job to have conversations with people that influence them, that impact them, thus in order to affect their income or other influence or impact in other areas of their life, depending on where your leadership is. But when we look at conversation, I believe leadership is all conversation, right? It's conversation and action. So it's a conversation about what? It's a conversation about the reason why people are going to take action. Whatever environment we're talking about, whether it's real estate, whether it's church, volunteer, your lives, raising children, your spouses, relationship with family, if you're looking to influence them, then the conversation needs to be around why they're going to take the action that you want them to take. For many of my clients, they're growing real estate teams, right? Whether small to medium, medium to large, expansion into other markets, and their biggest struggle is, how do I get my people into action? And typically the action that they're most focused on is lead generation. How do I get my people into the action of lead generation? How do I get them to be purposeful every single day to take action to generate new leads to grow their business? Well, leaders, here's what I'll tell you. It's our job to have a conversation with them, to give them a motive, a reason why they're going to lead generate, so that they can take action, the Asian end of it. So have conversations with your people, help them understand their why, their purpose, whatever label we're going to assign to it today. It seems like we always have some sort of big, beautiful label that we're applying to it. Somebody's new label to why people need to take action, whether it's your big why, or it's your purpose, it's your life by design. Whatever the label is, leaders, our job is to find their motive, the reason why they're going to take action, why the elements of action are important in their life. It has nothing to do with lead generation. It has nothing to do with whatever particular action falls into the understanding of motivation. It has everything to do with the reason. So leaders, your job is to have that conversation that brings to surface an understanding and awareness around the reason. And once we understand the reason, then we tie it to the actions and then further understand the ramifications of the actions, positive, and the ramification of the lack of the actions, the negative. And then we kind of tie all that together to get this big understanding of what motivation is, the reason behind the action, both the positive, the pleasure, and the negative, the pain. And then it's up to them, the self-motivation, the conversation that they need to have with themselves to understand the reason why they're going to take action every single day. And if they fail to do that for themselves, then what we do as leaders is on at least a weekly basis, we should be circling back around with them to have the conversation that measures their actions. We account for their actions. We call that accountability, accounting for their ability, because we care that much about them. And when they don't take action, when they don't have their own self-motivation, then we as leaders have another conversation reminding them about the reason why they're going to take action. See, when that whole process, right, because action is a process or action, when that whole process of action comes together, both as us as the leaders and them as the individual that understands the reason why they're going to take action, and we as the leaders have conversations on a regular basis with them, then I believe we are taking action to motivate our people. We're fueling their inner fire. See, I do believe that as leaders, it's not our job to motivate people, because in theory, you can't motivate them. We all have this internal flame that motivates us. Our job is to light the fire, give them that spark, which is the reason. Tap them into a reason why they're going to take action, and the positive ramifications of pleasure that it can produce in their life, as well as the negative ramifications that are going to be their reality if they don't take action once they have awareness of the reason why they need to take action. And then you just put it all together, account for it on a daily basis, converse about it weekly, and continue to motivate your people. So hopefully you guys understand this whole process. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. I can address them now for you, or later on after the fact if you want to come back. Or if you're watching this in replay mode, please feel free to comment. I'll be glad to address your questions or concerns along the way. Also, remember, we're going to be doing daily videos. If you have a topic about leadership that you'd like to have addressed on these daily leadership videos, I'd be glad to address that. Please feel free to put them in the comments, or you can private message me, or you can even email me at chris@transforminglivescoaching.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. You have a blessed rest of your day. Remember one thing, God loves you, so do I. Lead strong, be blessed. Take care.